Hello there, my fellow engineers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Blossom, the Seed of Life. Episode 5, Nuclear Power and Tier 2 Smelting. I think for the sake of self-preservation, I'm going to temporarily disconnect the terraforming so that I can charge up the rover and myself. And then go back to it. Because it's not that we're not generating a lot of power. Okay, the rover's batteries are full. Cool. It's that it's all being used instantly. But these problems get solved pretty well once we get fuel 3, which is coming up quick. So 35 out of 5,000. Yeah, it's coming up quick. The other thing we could do actually is to get another drill tier 3, phase out heat. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll get 2 drills and push for the pressure that we need so that we can get really good power. Much easier power, and then continue down the heat tree. I like that. So I think that's my plan. Okay, I got a spot for one more. Done. Icefire, thank you for the resub. And chat, thank you for answering questions I've already answered before. I appreciate it. Oh, you don't have to apologize. Never feel bad for asking a question that I've already answered. It's just I appreciate when chat, chimes in, so I'm not like a broken record repeating myself over and over. I totally get it. People show up when they show up. And I'm just saying I appreciate the help, not that I'm disparaging the duplicate questions. If that makes sense. Okay. So now we have a net positive of 1.5 power in the base as it is currently. And as I mentioned, my plan was to double up on drills so that we can get the better generators sooner. So what we're going to want for that is gold wire, silica, and sulfur. Silica and sulfur is very easy to source, so we just need gold. So let's figure out where the closest gold is, so I'm not driving needlessly far. Oh, and we hit a milestone. Craters are now completely filled with ice. Cool. So if you take a look at the craters over here, they are now ice filled. And all of the resources that they were filled with got pushed up. So it didn't delete the sulfur that was in there, it just moved it upwards. And now we're working on cryospheric melting. That is next big one. So in terms of pressure, we're moving pretty quickly towards fuel tier 3. And then wind generator module is one that you can actually attach to your rover, and I would love those. And then the wind generators are nice too, and we're moving pretty quickly to that as well. What was I gonna do? Gold. So there is no gold immediately around where we are. So if we want gold, we're gonna have to like go look for it, which is fine. So roll out for gold. And we've been finding it mostly to the south. I'm just gonna continue to the south. There's not to say that's the only direction it's in. Also keeping in mind that the scanner is currently active, scanning for gold, which does take power. So as soon as I spot it, I should turn off the scanner and just note the heading. So it's southwest, 400 meters. Future lakes, indeed. Because liquid water happens at 1 Celsius. Now, a lot of these buildings here will have memory fragments about the lore of the game, as well as blueprints for like habitat type stuff. And as I mentioned, I'm mostly just interested in like showcasing the fundamental, the game mechanics, and less of the lore. So if you want that lore stuff, you gotta play for yourself. How's that for incentive? Alright, so I got the gold for the drill, and we'll get the sulfur. Actually, I'm sitting on sulfur, so I don't know why I'd go anywhere else. And then 3 silica. Compass is hard to see? Yes. Yeah. I have like a bigger screen with higher resolution and no latency. So it's actually not that hard to see as a player, but like, I think, was there UI scaling? There is. Because I have like overlays and stuff, I don't want to be messing with that. But you can also scale your UI. It's a visibility issue. Okay, that is all the materials we need for another drill. And then we'll refocus on heat. I know liquid water could be at 0, but at 0 it's like the melting point. So the game classifies it here as 1. As you can see, the goalpost for temperature of liquid water is 1 Celsius. But that's not the minimum. The game wants you to get it to like 25 Celsius. I forget exactly what the heat goal is for the game, but I think it's like 25 Celsius. Basically, heat is an easier goal to meet on this planet than the other goalposts, because you aren't trying to get it to like 1,000 degrees, right? Like, you eventually get there and then you're done. It's 1 gold wire, 3 pressure cores. Ooh, perfect. Oh, and we just hit the pressure goal anyway. But, whatever. Bloink. Alright, now I am not heating anymore. I'm just adding pressure. So let's go print up those blueprints. So we got the wind generator module, the wind generator, and the auto storage 2. Actually, I don't think we hit the pressure, because it would have just printed the... Oh, no, yeah, we did. There it is. And this is fuel 3. and we're going to want to roll fuel 3s out as soon as possible because they're like much easier to power. So fuel 3s make 5 power, and they have 2 fuel slots and much higher efficiency, and they can use uranium fuel rods and greatly increased efficiency over, which is much better than regoliths. And the difference here is gold wire. So we're going to need to go back to gold nodes. Which also means that we're no longer going to need a lot of regolith for... God, I put that bed in the worst spot ever. We're no longer going to need a lot of regolith for stuff. I'll drop it for now. So let's get some gold wire for the better generator. So currently we're generating, I have what, 5 of them? So to replace what we already have, we would want at least 2 tier 3s to start. So we're looking to get 4 gold. And I'm going to have a lot of like leftover scrap breaking down all the tier 2s, plus all like the regolith. So what it can do is leave one of the tier 2s in place to burn the remaining regolith rods that I have, so the regolith rods aren't waste. They're generating power until I'm out of regolith, and then I can phase it out fully. Cheers. And then there's a lot of improvements that we can do to our own drone here, our own rover. We can add wind generators to generate power while we're out of the base, as well as a whole bunch of other things. Oh, perfect. This is exactly 4 gold. Little ponds. Well, soon. I guess it's a frozen pond. Still a pond. It's got water in it. Just not liquid water. When is rover tier 2? At the end of the pressure tree. The very last thing you get for hitting bar 1. Or 1 bar, I guess. Actually, I think it's 1.0005 bar. Something like that. But I digress. Alright, we're gonna have a definite power disruption briefly while we do this, but like, I don't care. Whatever, we brown out. Not a big deal. So I'm moving the fuel rods into this generator, which we can leave. While we phase out the old ones. And they're like a little bigger. Like a whole order of magnitude bigger. Let's get a little uranium to generate the power we're now missing. And I'll get enough for 2 uranium rods. I just want to put away this stuff in my backpack. So all the uranium goes on me. So we need 8 uranium for that. Ooh, I don't have a lot of power. Should have charged the... Well, we just disrupted all the power. Whatever. We'll go for 1 rod then. Because this is enough uranium for 1 rod. Does the backpack have upper tiers? Nope. It's done. I had mentioned that before. It's done. It's all finished. This is its final form. Ah, crap, I don't even have the power to make the uranium. I mean, I guess enriching uranium is, like, low-key kind of expensive. Hi, Rebek. Or Rubek. Okay. Now, we have a nuclear generator. Generating 5 power. Let's make another one. So this old one, I'm going to move to here. And I can clean up the cabling eventually. I'm not, like, fretting about that right now. Where'd my gold wire go? Put it on the car. I might need to move... Well, I can put it here and then I'll move it around. Come on, go white. Really? You're gonna be like that? Okay, whatever. I'll just leave them where they... I really don't want to leave them where they are. I want you to move! And batteries are right now full because I'm not really using any power at the moment. Because I disconnected the drills while I fiddled with this. Alright, if it's gonna be like that, you know what? I'm gonna destroy you. Build you somewhere else. I'll pick that fuel rod up in a second. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to block the terrain so much so that I can drive a little bit more freely around. Oh yeah, it really isn't flat there, is it? Fine, put it over here. You win, game. You win. Okay. Then I'll use this power connector to connect it up. Come on, stretch. And we're generating power again, so let's turn on the drills and the heater. There goes the drills. There's the heater. I'm gonna connect that plug to this one, because this, I think, has a tier 3 plug, which can reach farther. Yeah, it's a wider plug, so it can reach farther than the tier 1 extender. So in this case, it wasn't symmetrical. This tier 1 extender has the tier 1 plugs. So see the width? This width indicates that if I tried to plug it in this way, I wouldn't have made it. Probably. Yep, no, I would not have made it. No, maybe. It's almost there. I could have made it. That's about the max range. So there's a big difference between the tier of the device that you're plugging into, in other words. All right, so now that we have the, now that we have that up and running, let's make another storage. So I can, like, empty out my backpack, and then we'll go get a little bit more, a little bit more uranium. And then we can focus on heat. The tether plug to my own car looks wrong. Let me fix this. Might be a save and load type issue. Oh, I have stuff attached to the rover's storage too. I forgot about that. Probably need to make another tier 2 storage. Alright, so those uraniums are done. I guess I could scan for it. Rather than blindly search. 180 meters that way. Perfect. So now that we have the 2 of the biggest drills, I will focus on heat and get more of the tier 2 heaters up, and then eventually the tier 3 heaters, so that we can... And as I said before, heat is a shorter goalpost than pressure is. Because once you get to, like, you know, room temperature, you're done. So at the moment, we are at, like, negative, I don't know, maybe 100 Celsius, but we're, like, moving pretty close to... room temperature, all things considered. We're like 20% of the way to getting liquid water. All right, I think my backpack's full. Yep. And our rover has spots for 2, 3. I'll just fill my own personal bag, that's fine. So once both of the fuel generators are plugged in, we're going to be generating 11.5 power. And our current devices are going to use 9 of it. But we can also invest in wind as well. So I'll start to do renewables. I'll do a little solar, a little wind, just so we diversify. Ah, crap, we're in another, like, I have no power to make power type situation. Can you go underwater? Yeah. It's not fun to be underwater as a robot, but, like, you can. All right. That should have everything powered up in a net positive. Yeah, we are... So each big generator is 5, and this is 1.5, so that's 11.5. And this is using 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so let's, that part's done. Let's get another, big generator up, I think. So that I'm generating 15 and have more power to play with. So that I can do more heaters, because we're, actually, no, I did say I was going to diversify with, renewables. So let's do that. So I'm going to see first if I'm about to hit a threshold. I'm very close to getting to tier 2 solar panels, so I don't want to make a tier 1 solar panel have it immediately be obsolete. So that doesn't make any sense. So instead, I'm not that close to a tier 3 wind, so let's do a tier 2 wind. That makes more sense. So, power... Oh, there's also, like, the mega batteries. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. So we need a chromium ingot and gold wire. So a chromium ingot is going to require us to get a tier 2 refinery. So that is titanium and chromium, copper, etc. So let's go get a refinery built. So we need a composite frame and a power junction. And I don't really know where chromium is or where titanium is, so let's scan. Closest chromium is this way. Empty the rover? I should have. Except for what I'm grabbing right now is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots, and my backpack's empty, so it should be fine. Ooh, pressure stage 9. We're under pressure. Oh, and there's some platinum for future reference. Requires a bigger drill than I currently have. And I think straight ahead is titanium, so that was easy. And I do have enough power to interact with that box, so I'll do that as well. What do you need? Exactly 3.8? I went too high. We got a chair. I wasted some power. Oh well. So once we have the Tier 2 refinery, we'll need to then acquire the reagents for an ingot. A chromium ingot. It should have detonated and destroyed if you overcharge the box. Yeah, but the game doesn't want to, like, prevent you from getting blueprints where you get, like, trolled into having to start a new game if you screw up. Like, that would be a terrible game mechanic, in my opinion. Okay, so power junction and composite frame equals, and maybe I'll replace the bed that we have with the chair. That makes a bit more sense for a robot. So this equals bigger refinery. And just like the lower level refinery, this only draws power when it's running. And the reason we did this is now we can go back to the wind tier 2. Actually, before we do that, we just got blueprints for solar. Yeah, I thought so. So we'll get like one of each just for giggles. So we need chromium for a chromium ingot. And if you want to know how much chromium, you can always go into here to try to figure out. Code in the mechanics for the refinery. I believe it's 4. So let's go get 4. I thought it would tell me, but I couldn't find it. Let's go get 4 chromium. And 2 gold. Oh. And we just got heater state tier 3. So we won't be doing another tier 2 heater because we got the best ones now. Oh, you know, before I leave, I'm going to take Fameface's advice and empty out the rover. I like the tier 2 storages because they're like pretty cheap. So they're very convenient to just like slap down when you're just like, I don't want to have to deal with this. Whereas the higher level storages require some investment. So you can't just slop them everywhere. The auto storages, that is. Plus the auto storages require power too. They're a powered device. So, great if you have like an excess amount of power, but that's not exactly the situation we're in right now. I can physically see the chromium already. And then the next thing we want is gold, which is also straight ahead. So straight ahead is both chromium and gold and about 400 meters. I'm trying to conserve as much power as possible so that I don't like run low. Now the other thing we could do is we can add wind generators to the rover as well, so that the rover generates its own power. That would be great. Definitely probably the next thing to jump on, so that I can't be in like a power deficit far away from the base where it kills me. Well, that's not true. You can still use more power than you generate, but it would help at least. That was a good run. I'm glad I found both materials like adjacent to one another. Pretty convenient. So once we get the wind gen tier 2, we'll get a heater tier 3. And just a single heater tier 3 should be enough to push us towards liquid water within a reasonable time frame. Just because the goalpost is closer than pressure. And I'm not filling up in uranium because, like, I'm out of power. I've got 60 in the rover. I'm trying to avoid my first death. And mining for uranium I would have like limped home with nothing left in the tank. All right, let's make the wire first. And then the ingot. To fill all the slots. And it's going to make a chromium ingot. No, and we're back down to just 10 power, because that thing is about to be obsolete. I could have gotten a little bit more gold to make another... Well, we're doing renewable generating. Never mind. All right, wind. Here's fine. I'll just, like, mash it. Oh, perfect. Like it. So, the wind here will be variable based upon the pressure in the atmosphere. So as it becomes more pressurized, it becomes more efficient. So this is already making 2.71, which is about half of a nuclear, which is pretty sweet. It's a pretty good amount of power. Thank you for tuning in to Blossom, the Seed of Life, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow terraformers.